Aloha. So we got two videos here showing the contrasting views of kind of similar ideas. This one is if you're a Democrat, if you're still a Democrat, you hate America. And the next one is going to be kind of a FIFO for a MAGA who voted MAGA and then we'll see, got hurt.
That I am so relieved that I'm no longer a Democrat.
If you are still a Democrat after a couple of nights ago, you hate America.
You didn't leave your party left you.
I was someone who hated Trump out of pure ignorance.
Trump could end world hunger and the left would be like, I can't believe he didn't feed them all organic food.
The Democrat Party is so done. For years,
Organic food is important.
they have tried to get rid of Donald Trump, tried to put him in jail, tried to impeach him in the past, and have tried to take his life multiple times. But finally, liberals can see through it. In this video, we're going to be looking at Democrats who no longer want to be associated with the Democrat Party. They are ashamed of it because now more than ever, it is so obvious the lengths that they will go to protect their corruption. Please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and let's get into it. This First Lady is relieved that she is no longer a Democrat.
I just want to come on really quickly and say that I am so relieved that I'm no longer a Democrat. I am breathing a sigh of relief this morning that I made it out in time.
So one of the dangers of not having an actual left-wing or progressive party is that when the Democrats tell you that they don't want you and show you that they don't want you, is you only have two options. You either give up on politics or you go to the Republican Party. Now, if we had all the politically savvy left people get in the Green Party, boost it up, and show the not as politically awake people that there was somewhere else to go, they would have somewhere else to go. But they either give up or go to the Republican Party once they understand what the Democratic Party is really like.
To enjoy the second Trump go-around because I missed the first one, okay? I was suffering from TDS and I was also just asleep and out to lunch. I woke up and walked away from the Democrat Party in summer 2020, so I caught like the tail end of the Trump presidency. But this is my first time no longer being a Democrat.
The tail end, the COVID part. She caught the part where he did the worst and the economy went down, and that's when... But see how bad it is out there in the Democratic Party? That she can talk about she caught the worst part of Trump's first presidency, and that like she enjoyed it. It's crazy.
Democrat being on the right side of history and also winning, right? Because it hasn't been a ton of winning the last 5 years. You know, we had Biden in office, we had COVID last for a very long time.
She is going to be so tired of winning. It's interesting that she said that she was asleep when she was woke.
All it was worth. We've had prices continue to skyrocket, especially here in Southern California. And so now it finally feels like I'm awake, I'm paying attention, I'm on the right side of history, I'm not a Democrat, and also we're winning.
And all the Democrats said that if you are a Trump supporter, then you're going to be on the wrong side of history. We have people like Harry Sisson still to this day saying that it's embarrassing to admit that you voted for Trump. And yet it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot left of the Democrat Party. I'm actually working on another video where I am showing that the liberals who are still a part of the Democrat Party are like the most extreme, and they say the craziest stuff, like trying to encourage people to take out Trump again. That's how extreme the people
I haven't heard anybody talk about trying to take out Trump again, but you got what, Jasmine Crockett and a couple of them out there talking all crazy, acting all hood and cussing everybody out now. Like, we need real politics, real ideas, real ways to get to universal health care, real ways to get to no more homelessness. Like, we have more empty homes than homeless people. We need real ideas and real people out there that care. The Democratic Party does not care. The Green Party does. People-powered party. We need you to get in the party. Whether you want to run or not, we need you in the party. Tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, and 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 of y'all need to start running.
Who are still a part of the Democrat Party are. And I'm sure deep in Harry Sisson's heart, he believes that as well.
Or the Democratic Party is just going to push people like this to the Republicans.
this moment. And another thing is that when I walked away from the Democrat Party, it was the first time in my adult life that I felt patriotism and a love for my country. And that doesn't bring me any joy or pride to say, but it just is the way that it is. And I went on this journey of discovering our country's history and our country's founding and our country's government, and with a renewed sense of patriotism.
I think the reason for that is because what Trump is doing is he's sharing everything that they're working on with the public. So you actually have something to latch onto and investigate. Whereas when the Democrats are in office, it's really hard because it seems like they operate in silence and they don't want you to have any clue about what they're doing. I mean, they had their press secretary, Karine, just lie to people for 4 years. So you never knew what they were working on. And every time you just had a little question, they would just lie to you. So now it's like we get to be a part of our government in a sense, and they're actually working for us.
Homeowners, if your roof is leaking.
I mean, she's not wrong, but she's not right. Like, the Democrats do lie a lot, but I mean, you're talking about Donald Trump. He lies quite a bit.
To be a patriot, to feel that patriotism, and for the first time in 5 years, to not feel like our country is in dire straits, to actually feel hope for this country, that the greatest nation in the world might actually.
But so this is why I look at things from across the spectrum, just so that you can see how other people feel. Like, people, this is a real person. Both these are real people, right? Like, she's covering this lady doing her little talk, but I'm covering her talking about her, right? And you can see both of these are now real far right-wing people who are real people. They're not like evil. They're not like, oh, everyone who likes Donald Trump is some KKK, whatever, or some racist asshole. It's not what it is. These ladies seem like, well, this lady seems fairly nice in with the dark hair. The other lady, she seems like a little smart ass a little bit, but she's doing her channel right and she's trying to do it well. But other than being a little bit of a smart ass, she seems like a really nice lady, right? Which, there's nothing wrong with being a smart ass as long as you're somewhat respectful, which, I mean, but again, she's doing her YouTube channel, which go for you, do your thing.
Actually make it, we might actually be okay. That is a really good feeling, and another feeling that I'm going to enjoy for as long as I can. And you know what, just have faith for people you know and love who are still blind, because stunts like last night, they don't appeal to the majority of Americans. The majority of Americans are turned off by that pettiness, that vindictiveness, that childishness. And you know, as a former Democrat, I just wonder, what is the modern day Democrat Party? What does it stand for?
I mean, honestly, I believe that it just stands for this type of culture that is extremely...
We saw it last night. They stand for nothing.
They literally don't even have a leader. Who is the leader of the Democrat Party? Kamala Harris? Jasmine Crockett? I mean, she's doing a terrible job. Actually, all the Democrats are doing a terrible job. They just keep posting videos dancing and embarrassing themselves more. You know what I really found so interesting about her video is that she said that she felt patriotic when she became a Republican. Because I don't know how patriotic you can be when you're sending $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza, or working on all these projects in foreign countries that nobody has ever heard of, instead of wanting to...
I don't agree with that. One, if you've never heard of the country, that is kind of the government's fault. You should be taught in school all the countries in the world. You should be taught world history, world everything, because we are players in the world. Even if you want to be a capitalist and you want to run the world and you want to take advantage of everybody Ferengi style, right? You want to be the Ferengi of the world, you need to know about the people you want to take advantage of. If you want to be a socialist, a communist, and make the world one kumbaya happy place, you should know about the people in the world. Either way, if you want to be an imperialist, capitalist, take over the world, one thing I think is crazy is that the U.S. only speaks English. They talk about Russia bad, China bad. Why doesn't every person in the United States know how to speak Russian fluently and Chinese fluently? A Russian person can walk around America with another Russian person if they were espionage spies or whatever. They could speak to each other in their native tongue in almost every place in America, and no one would understand them. They could just say, oh, we're going to punch that dude and we're going to steal this thing or whatever. Not saying that any Russian would ever necessarily do that, but what I'm saying is that they're supposed to be so bad by our government's terms. why wouldn't you teach us how to speak Russian so Russians couldn't talk in front of us without having to like be sneaky, right? Like if we knew Russian, we could understand what they say. Like it's just crazy to me. Like, and if China's so bad, we should be able to speak Chinese, but still.
Peace and trying to put America first. So when Democrats are patriotic, you know that is when our country is united. Interesting how at one point everybody said that the Democrats were the party of love.
So I'm going to say something, and I really don't care if you are offended by it. If you are still a Democrat after a couple of nights ago, you hate America.
Yes,
the Democrats
they do.
have proven yet again that they are the party of hate.
That is so true. Republicans have thought the things that Democrats are thinking now for such a long time, because how is it that they actually consider themselves the party of love when everything that they do is based off of hate for one person and everybody who supports that person? It was like we're loving of all except majority of America.
Oh, Democrats are okay.
I don't understand why people or why the Democrats can't see why they have fallen. I was someone who hated Trump out of pure ignorance because I knew nothing about politics. I never paid attention to this shit. I didn't care because the way I've always felt was my vote never mattered. And if it hasn't proven to be true up until this moment, that's pretty accurate if you ask me, because none of these people are representing us the way that they're supposed to. However, the Democrats, literally, all they did was talk trash about Trump. That was part of the reason why I didn't like him, was because
Orange
all I
man
heard were
bad.
negative things. And when you don't do your own research and you hear the majority of the people say negative things, and you start to go, okay, this must be bad. When you start to do your research, you start to realize that these people are dumb. I'm so sorry, but you are. And another reason why I didn't like him was because I felt like he didn't talk like a...
Again, so this is why I talk about the Green Party, because the Democrats offer nothing better than the Republicans. If you're like, oh, we're gonna give you the same corporate overlords, but we're gonna put rainbows and butterflies on the bomb when we kill people, it's not better. Nobody wants that. And then if you're gonna be a Democrat, like, you're disillusioned most of the time. And then when the Republicans start talking and when they speak kind of sanely, they're saying what the Democrats say, but they're saying it with more vigor, with their chest up. They're talking about, we're gonna take these countries over, we're gonna kill these people, and they say it with their chest out and proudly, and we're gonna kick these immigrants out, and we don't care about brown people. Okay, that makes sense when you say it like that, but the Democrats say the same stuff, but they try to hide it. Like Joe Biden talking about, what he say? It doesn't matter how they got there. We're just gonna put them in jail because my family's more important than them. He didn't, not verbatim, but that's basically what he said, right? And so when Democrats say stuff like that, but Republicans are just like, yeah, no, we're just gonna kick the Mexicans out. They say it just straight up, right? Democrats lie and walk around it. So if you say it straight up, you're more likely to get the votes of the people who kind of like the message, but the people who don't like the message at all just leave. The Democrats have no different message that's any better than the Republicans.
A politician. I didn't think it was appropriate for him to go and talk the shit that he talks until I realized that that's exactly how you guys need to be talked to. That's the only thing that seems to register in your brain. And the thing that people don't understand with the Democrats is they are very big on handing out money, but they like to mask it as a social program. Like they really want to help the people.
Yes, but it's so interesting that their salaries are so low, but then they have this inflated net worth, and it's like, where did it come from? You literally have no skills.
You want to...
And so then the Republican Party gives their power to the people who have more money than that. There you go. Good job.
Talk about loving the uneducated. That's the Democrats, to be quite honest.
That's such a savage thing to say, because for so long Democrats have been like, we vote Democrat because we're the educated ones.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Just saying. Ah.
And people who go to college for 20 years and then become professors are more likely to vote for the Democrat Party. But now it's kind of like, well, that doesn't mean that you're just like Einstein or something.
He has concepts of a plan. Well, that's better than no plan at all. Because if you don't know what a concept of a plan is, it's various ideas that you could possibly have to implement, but you don't really know which one's going to work until you're in there and figure it out.
Does anybody else?
And this will be the five-fold Republican. Let's see. We got Really American. Let's check it out.
Jennifer Piggott voted for Trump in the November election. Then in February, She was fired from her civil service job.
Absolutely, I feel a little bit betrayed.
MAGA supporters sure do seem to love losing their jobs, either because they can't help themselves from being hateful bigots, or because they voted for a man who looks like Humpty Dumpty after they try to put him back together again. This woman voted for him 3 times, and now she's got this confused look on her face like this isn't exactly what she voted for. She's one of many Trump voters in West Virginia who lost their jobs to Elon Musk's Doge. And folks, this video is the perfect example of the I didn't think the leopards eating face party would eat my face. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to like the video and double check that you're subscribed.
She was among more than 125 people dismissed last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
There's always that back and forth conversation now. It's like, you knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives.
What do you mean you didn't know?
Oh, but the key word, our. She didn't understand the devastation it would do to our lives, her people's lives. What? You didn't care about the devastation it would do to other people's lives. I don't even know what to say. Like, really?
What did these MAGA voters think getting rid of unelected bureaucrats meant? They work for the government. They mean you. They're acting like they got completely blindsided, like Trump ran on a platform of expanding government jobs and improving the lives of workers. Project 2025 was right there. We all saw it. Here's an article written July 15th, 2024. Project 2025 seeks to dismantle agencies, terminate up to 1 million federal workers. Number 1, because of the proposed deep budget cuts, elimination and privatization of agencies and programs, hiring freezes, caps on the number of personnel, and other anti-government policies, some have estimated that there would be a loss of up to 1 million federal jobs if Project 2025 is implemented. Surprise, surprise, Trump is doing all of those. He's doing every single one on that list.
No kings, no tyrants.
Hey, would you like to know the 2 dividends?
It is odd that they act like they don't know that he said he was going to be cutting jobs.
The cuts have shaken up a community that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. He won West Virginia with 70% of the vote, one of his biggest victories. But the betrayal felt by Pigott, a church-going conservative and 3-time Trump voter, comes as political analysts are examining early signs of a possible backlash in
like she thought
Republican
only Mexicans and DEI were going to lose their jobs, right? And she's part of DEI. She's a woman. That's DEI. So, or government jobs too. I don't understand why people wouldn't want government jobs. The government is supposed to work for the society. Now, if they don't work correctly for the society, that means you need to get into the government, because the government should be ran by the people for the people. But if we let businesses run it like we do now, it won't be ran by the people or for the people. It'll be ran by the corporations and for the corporations, like the United States has always been. It won't be good for the bottom 80%, like it never has been. It's what it is. We need to, like we ended slavery with a revolution, we need to end oligarchy with a revolution. The oligarchy has been here since day one. It'll take, hopefully it won't take a war, but it will take a political revolution. You cannot, the Democrats are the oligarchy. They work for the same people that the Republicans work for.
Strongholds like Parkersburg, where the government slashing efforts of Trump and Doge are beginning to hit home.
Elon Musk has basically taken over our government and has calling the shots, unfortunately, it seems to be.
Rich people started our government, ran our government from the beginning, and that's how it's been. It is a government for the rich. It has been a plutocracy, oligarchy, fascist, capitalist. That's why they have all these different words for the same thing. Monarchy, feudalist. It's the same thing. A small 1 to 5%, maybe 10% run everything, and the rest of us work hard for them. It's all the same. That's why they use all these words. So we're changing the system a bit. We're gonna pass a 13th Amendment so there's no slaves. Unless you break the law, then there can be slaves. Like, that's BS. Like, there should be no slaves at all. But in America, slavery is still legal. 13th Amendment, look it up.
Well, yeah, dude. He didn't come out of nowhere. Here's an article from almost exactly a year ago, March 6th. Elon Musk says he isn't donating to the Trump or Biden campaigns. Musk, one of the richest men in the world, has reportedly met with both Joe Biden's administration and Donald Trump ahead of the 2024 presidential election. This is what he tweeted. Just to be clear, I am not donating money to either candidate for United States president. And by the end, when everything was said and done, he had spent $288 million on the 2024 election. He was doing rallies in Pennsylvania where he was just giving away money to random strangers to vote for Trump. They were all fine with that. That was all cool to get their man elected. I mean, it wasn't like a secret. Here he is at inauguration, thanking everybody and doing the most insane thing of all time.
And let me tell you, I'm gonna work my ass off for you guys. So, I really will. I really will. So thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Right, so these people were all fine with that. They had no problem with Elon Musk literally taking over. But when he turned his sights on their jobs and the jobs of their friends, now all of a sudden they have a problem with it. They thought it was just going to be the DEI hires, who in their minds just means anybody who's a person of color or LGBTQ. And now look at them, joining the Democrats to try to stop the train wreck that they voted for.
A handful of Republican voters who lost their federal jobs joined Democrats at a recent anti-DOGE protest near the Bureau of Fiscal Service offices in Parkersburg. But the federal job losses in the state could soon extend beyond the BF.
But see, that's kind of the WWE style of our politics, is that Democrats and Republicans both hurt you, and they like cycle around who they hurt. So you saw there was some Democrats who were mad and went to the Republicans, and you got all these Republicans who are mad and go to the Democrats. They're going to keep doing the same thing, going back and forth, recycling these people. If you're a Republican and you're really far right and you want small government, I don't know if it's not no money, but like small government, no like control over your life, you should be a libertarian. You shouldn't be a Republican or go back and forth to the Democrats and Republicans. Be a libertarian. If you're on the left, if you're a communist or socialist, if you think about climate change and you care about like community and society and having good schools and roads and things like that, you need to be in the Green Party. If you care about climate change, all that liberal rainbows and LGBTQ and all that, you should be in the Green Party. But if you're in the Democrat or Republican Party, all they care about is money. Their green is the wrong green. They just care about money and corporations, and it's not going to work out for us, you, your kids, my kids, anybody in the end. So Malama is back, and we're halfway through the video or so, but I kind of gave her what we're talking about, and so we're going to start the video. We're still staying on the MAGA voter, and we'll go back to the other one because the other one has some other people from Democrats going to Republicans.
BFS building, says West Virginia University economics professor John Deskins.
West Virginia is at the very top of the states in terms of the federal workforce.
Forget Harvard.
Workforce is the share of total workforce in the state. So if the federal layoffs happen, if they hit West Virginia, we stand to suffer a disproportionate share when those jobs disappear, when that income disappears, when that spending leaves the state economy.
But in Reuters interviews with 36 workers, business owners, and politicians in Parkersburg, nearly all said that Trump's focus on cutting government spending was a worthy
on the sauce. Unfortunately, it seems to be.
A handful of Republican voters who lost their federal jobs joined Democrats at a recent anti-DOGE protest near the Bureau of Fiscal Service offices in Parkersburg. But the federal job...
See, like Republicans always worry when it affects them. Like, if it doesn't affect them, they're like, do whatever. If it hurts somebody else, fine, as long as we save money. But then when we save money and it hurts you, now you come to the Democrats or what you think might be the left or whatever to try to go against that.
Losses in the state could soon extend beyond the BFS building, says West Virginia University economics professor John Deskins.
West Virginia is at the very top of the states in terms of The federal workforce is a share of total workforce in the state. So if the federal layoffs happen, if they hit West Virginia, we stand to suffer a disproportionate share when those jobs disappear, when that income disappears, when that spending leaves the state economy.
But in Reuters interviews with...
And I would think a lot of southern states that don't produce a lot of money would have a lot of government jobs to offset that, right? Like Alabama, he said West Virginia, Oklahoma, but like a lot of these southern states don't actually put into the economy. They take from California, take from Florida, take from Hawaii, New York, Texas. There's a couple southern states that make a lot, like Texas and Florida, but most of I think that's probably the only two Republican states that actually like make money and put money into the system. Most of them take money out of the system because they don't produce
like
anything.
The revenue, or they don't generate revenue.
So like state, like
it's more
not state taxes, but the federal taxes, right? Yeah. So Alabama pays a certain amount of federal taxes, but California pays so much more because they make so much more. Alabama gets more back in, say, subsidies or programs and whatnot than they actually pay in federal taxes. So they make out on federal taxes. California gets way less back. California puts in California pays for so many states, like New York, California, probably Hawaii, Nevada is one because of Las Vegas. But there's certain states, like maybe 5 or 10, that make a whole lot of money, and they pay for the bottom like 15, 20 states, because the 15, 20 states they kind of put into the pot, but they get way
not as much as
they get way back or back way more than they put in.
36 workers, business owners, and politicians in Parkersburg nearly all said that Trump's focus on cutting government spending was a worthy goal. And Reuters Ipsos polling shows Americans' attitude toward Trump are so far essentially unchanged since he began firing federal workers in February. As of this week, his approval rating was holding steady at 44%.
Cutting costs and waste and fraud and. We love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, we were excited about that because it is true. But again, I can't help but go back to the fact that what is the decisions that you're making right now solving in the big picture?
Waste, fraud, and abuse.
So the concept of voting for that again, voting for Elon Musk essentially to wreck people's lives, I can't do it.
You know what it's called when somebody says they're going to do one thing and then they turn around and do the opposite thing? It's called getting scammed. That's what happens when you let a con artist, the president of the United States. Nobody likes fraud, waste, and abuse. But it's like Republican voters live in that movie where nobody knows how to lie. They seem surprised by the fact that Trump and Elon and whatever conservative dope that's on Fox News says one thing, but then turns around and does the exact opposite. Or when they promise that these job cuts are only going to be surgical to improve the process or get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, and instead just come in with a sledgehammer because that was the goal the entire time. It's almost as if they've been campaigning on small government for decades. Hello, lady, you work for the government. Waste, fraud, and abuse, that's just an excuse. They don't seem to have a problem with this waste, fraud, and abuse. All of the connections that Elon Musk's companies have with various departments and agencies, either through contracts, oversight and regulation, or criminal investigations. All of this waste, fraud, and abuse is all okay. The only problem is you lost your job. Well, tons of people are losing their jobs, and we didn't vote for this. You did. It would be nice if these Republicans took a little bit of responsibility and stopped acting like they're helpless babies who got duped. You knew what you were voting for. Don't act like it's all a surprise.
The economic impact of the mass dismissals across America may not be immediately felt. So far, 100,000 government workers have been fired or taken a buyout. Parkersburg is bracing for another round of layoffs, with all government agencies ordered to make plans to cut career staff by March 13th.
It turns out, if you can convince the poorest government worker that she's better than the best DEI hire, then she won't notice when the billionaire is stealing from her pocket. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.
Oh, I was going to comment on when you said he didn't lie. He's doing what he said he's going to do, right? But so say in the big picture, he was saying he's going to like say clean house, right? And then all these people voted for him. Yeah, all these people voted for him, saying like, yes, that's what we need to do, right? Clean house. And then, but that's where it ended. And then when he got into office, he's like, I'm gonna clean house, and that includes all of you guys. You know what I mean?
You are the house, right?
Yeah, right. And then
Right.
they're like, wait, what? Right? And then now they're like,
You are the waste.
you lied. He's like, no, he didn't lie. He said he's gonna clean house. He just didn't tell you he was gonna clean your house, right? So
But-
then they're all like, oh.
Well, he kind of did. He said he was going to go into government spending and government agencies, right? And they're government agencies.
Right. That's
If you said, we're going to clean up the government agencies, I'm part of the government agency. Like, you might be part of it and want to clean it up in a way, but, like, how do you want to clean it? Do you want to just clean it up like Rambo? Or do you want to, like, clean it up like a surgeon and find out what needs to be taken out and take it out slowly like a surgeon would, right? Because when you need your gallbladder taken out, you don't do it like this.
Yeah,
right?
right.
You do it very slowly.
Right,
Maybe not very
right.
slowly, but you do it kind of
No,
slowly
yes,
at least.
you do.
Right?
It takes hours. Yeah, and that's the thing. For me, I think, as a person that can't vote, so I think like voting, you have the power to contribute to what the decisions are, right? You being able to vote. So all these people that are grumbling, that actually voted for him and are grumbling, it's like you contributed to that, right? And then I think, and I'm sure there's educated people, there's all types of walks of life of people that are in there, like, you know, in that party. But to think, myself as, you know, a layman's person thinking, this man filed bankruptcy 7 times, you know, couldn't run a business 7 times, but we're gonna let
And
him
was
run
born rich, had all the money
America?
to be able to do anything.
Right. Like, I mean, regardless of how he was there,
Like
7 times he
if your
tried.
dad was a carpenter and taught you how to build a house, and you built
Yeah.
7 houses that just fell over, but you built like say
Right.
you built 100 houses and say like 7 of them fell over, people probably wouldn't buy houses from you no more. That's a high percentage.
That's
It's
what
too
I'm
much.
saying.
But
But that's what I'm saying. His rate 7, you know.
But even he didn't even have that many businesses, right? Like he probably had like 10 to 15 businesses where 6 to 8 failed. I don't know the exact number, but like even say take 6 out of 20. That's a high number, right? Like that's not good.
But that's what I was getting to, right? It's saying you guys sat there and know that this man failed 7 times in business, and then yet you guys said, I'm going to put this man in charge of America.
But it's about the bravado. If you can say the right thing, people will follow you. Like Biggie Smalls said, I'm big and fat and ugly as ever, but he could get with ladies because he had game. It's about what you say. It's not how you look. It's not what you do exactly. But if you can say the right thing, people will follow you.
Well, it would be like, sorry, I forgot the example you said, but it would be like, the
Biggie
houses.
Smalls.
You said 7 houses, right? If you built 7 houses and they all collapse, like, I'm probably not going to go with you to be the contractor for my house, right?
Right.
It's like if you were a doctor and you did 7 surgeries and all those 7 patients died, which is like bankruptcy. The business literally died. If I'm gonna have a surgery, I don't think I want you to be my surgeon, right?
Right, if you people, I'll find towels in your people after, like years later.
I mean, at least they're alive. Like literally, when you found bankruptcy, it died, right?
The
Like
business did.
That's like those patients died, but and so America's like, I know you killed like 7 patients, but let me give you our heart and go ahead, operate. Like what?
Right. And so this is going to be the opposite. So we saw Democrats go to the Republicans. Wait, we saw Republicans go to the Democrats.
Yes.
Now this is going to be Democrats going to the Republicans.
But you don't really know which one's gonna work until you're in there and figure it out.
Does anybody else
I will
find
say
it
at the end
so
of
amazing that since Trump has been president before and now he has experience about choosing the right cabinet members and who are the right people to trust, that as soon as he got
How to build a bigger wrecking ball,
telling
basically.
in office, he just ran for it. I mean, he immediately signed like over 100 executive orders and immediately took so much action. He's partnering with all of the greatest minds in our country, and it's just so amazing to see how much he has learned, and that he didn't just learn it, it's not just knowledge, but he's putting it into action. It's actually really,
It is
really
actually true.
impressive.
Trump could end world hunger and the left would be like, I can't believe he didn't feed them all organic food. I swear that no matter what this man does, the left is just out here complaining about everything.
Yes.
The man has not even been in office for more than a few months. And people are like, oh, he didn't solve every single problem.
But how many people have lost their jobs in those few months? And
Right.
around the world, people are going to get their certain shots, certain food and things. Like, that's what the USAID is. But, I mean, rugged individualism, you can let them pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
In the entire world, so he's a terrible president.
And if they can't come up with enough reasons for why he's not doing enough or blaming things on him that weren't his fault, they just start insulting the way that he looks. Every Democrat who is a social media influencer just insults Trump off of the way he looks because they don't know what else to say.
Like, Joe Biden literally didn't put us 6 feet under for like the last 4 years. Like, bury
Joe
us
Biden doesn't look great
alive for the last 4 years.
I mean, he was basically already gone as well. This person says, as a former leftist, I have never seen a president this strong and effective. Seriously.
His joint address to, as President Trump wraps up his joint address to Congress, I can express to you just how wrong I was about this president.
He's
In
courageous.
2022, I started questioning the left, even though I was on the left. And I had said a lot of stuff about Trump that they...
So, and again, this is a guy who thinks Democrats are on the left. I'm pretty sure. The Green Party is where the people need to come to and be the left, and the left can be what the left is, like universal health care, housing first over, community gardens, permaculture, and connecting with other countries, not being isolationist, being more of a multipolar world than a unipolar world. But if the Democrats represent the left in your mind and the Republicans are the right, where they're both pretty much the same in a sane world, people are going to choose Republicans over Democrats because Republicans say right-wing stuff with their chest out, and Democrats pretend to be left-wing but do right-wing stuff, and it looks shady over time. Once you get to understand what they're doing, you're like, oh, they're not doing what they're saying they're trying to do. They're doing right-wing stuff. Where Republicans are right-wing and they say what they're trying to do and they do it. Where the Green Party or other left-wing things, they say what they want to do, but they don't have the power to implement it. But so just this guy thinking the Democrats are left, that skews his mindset, and that's why he's going to go to the Republicans, rather than if enough of you out there got into the Green Party and pumped the Green Party up, then people would think there was an option to go left or right from the Democratic Party. But there's only one way to go from the Democratic Party, and that's right. And the Democratic Party sucks. So people are just going to go right rather than giving them the option to go left. Like Bernie Sanders, he had all those people. Just saying.
held on to and are still saying, I was wrong.
Wow.
I was wrong. And it still shocks me to see Congress sitting up there on the left protesting it. This guy is amazing.
But not the left.
Right?
He's addressing every single issue that's hurting America. Everything.
There's a video of a guy going up to the Democrats after the joint address and interviewing them, asking them why they had nothing to stand for. And all of them, well, most of them were just like, well, Trump didn't address the issues at hand, the issues that Americans care about, like the price of groceries. It's like they think so poorly of the American people that we don't realize that if we didn't have billions and billions of dollars being sent overseas, that our country would be doing better, or if we didn't have to pay so much in taxes, that taxes were literally choking us, then we would be able to have more money to spend, and maybe younger generations.
Well, historically, Democrats and Republicans are pretty warmongery. Like, we go to war under George Bush, we go to war under Bill Clinton, we drone bomb under Obama, and we kill under Trump. Like, there's, out of the entire history of the United States, look.
Always at war.
Yeah, like there's a thing. If you look up what percentage of the United States history we've been at war, it's like 93% or something like that. It's like 212 out of 230 years or something like that, whatever it is. But it's ridiculous. We've always been at war. It doesn't matter what the president is. We like to kill people.
Yeah. Oh, what party?
Generations
Yeah,
could
what party?
actually afford a house. Trump did address all the things that Americans care about, so much in taxes, that taxes were literally choking us, then we would be able to have more money to spend, and maybe.
So she doesn't understand taxes like we did. I did a video the other day. You watched it. But when you pay, taxes are collective bargaining of the people's money. the more you make, the more you need to pay in taxes. Like, you could actually have a society, especially ours, where if you make $100,000, $200,000 or less, you could actually pay zero taxes. Like, I tell people they should want to pay 100% of taxes, because then that would make everybody have to pay more taxes. But if you don't like taxes, if everybody that made $100,000 or $200,000 or less paid zero taxes, and then everybody who made, say, 200,000 to 300,000 paid, like, say, 20%, and then every 100,000 you go up another 10% or so until you get to, like, say, a couple million, or say at one point you stop going up, but then at 15 million you go to 90% taxes, something like that. And anybody who makes over 15 million, any dollar over 15 million would be taxed at 90%. Now you got somebody like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, all them. Now they got to pay taxes on their big money. Like, the small money doesn't matter. Like the first 100,000, everybody makes a little bit of that, and that really doesn't matter to society. But if you taxed these billionaires, millionaires that have over, say, $20 million, you could make it lower, higher, arbitrary, pick a number, but you tax them, and that's what society builds on.
Younger generations could actually afford a house. Trump did address.
When the younger generations could afford a house, and again, I've done a couple videos where from the 30s or 40s to the 70s, taxes were at 90%. That's redistributed money so that the poor people, or the people that don't make as much, however you want to call it, could do things.
All the things that
Working class,
Americans
yes,
care
exactly.
about, so much so that Democrats are losing their own people.
From economy, foreign policy.
But see, the Democrats are losing their own people, but they're going the wrong way, because that people fight so hard against the left. Even Democrats send people to the Republican Party rather than send them to the Green Party. Wouldn't you rather send the people that leave the Democratic Party to the Green Party rather than the Republican Party?
War, border.
Exactly.
He's honoring
as if
little
they don't
kids.
affect other things.
Giving them access. I mean, not access, but he's honoring the victims of people that have been murdered by Mexican cartels and drug gangs and stuff like that. I have never seen anything remotely close to this in my lifetime.
The Democrats knew exactly what they were doing. They knew that they allowed it, and so they don't care.
Well, one way to end Mexican cartels is to end the war on drugs, legalize and regulate all drugs, sell them at adult stores that are 21 and up. You could eliminate fentanyl and crystal meth, but you sell, like, drugs that grow, like heroin, cocaine. You make them clean, government regulated, and then that way no one ever overdoses. You never get a bad batch, just like alcohol, cigarettes, or now marijuana, and I don't know if there's any other legal drug. Coffee is a legal drug. It's regulated. If you had coffee messed up, too much caffeine in the wrong way, people would be overdosing with heart attacks. Any drug needs to be regulated. Most drugs should be legal. I think any drug that grows should probably be legal. I mean, it's a plant. You just have to process it correctly.
Right, and then like how you're saying coffee, right? Then they have different forms of it too, right? Like energy drinks.
Oh, right,
All of
exactly,
those
yeah.
other things, right? And then the powders that you take, right? Those have the same effect, but because it's regulated, right? And they, you tend not to have people that overdose or like have so much that their heart can't stand. So,
And then if somebody did
different forms.
overdose on a legal, say, Red Bull or coffee thing, you might do an autopsy, and then they'd be like, oh, well, it was skewed this way, and then you'd either be able to sue the company, or you'd be able to tell the company, oh, you messed up in this batch. And then they could either recall the batch, or they could know to not do it this way again. They might have been doing it that way for a little while and thinking it was okay, but then something happened and they don't do it that way no more.
But it holds them accountable.
Right, accountability.
Because
is
it's
the whole
not
point.
legal, nobody's held accountable for it, right? They're trying to make the money, and they're just giving it out. They're cutting it. They're putting other things, right? Because they're not accountable for it. Like
Fentanyl,
you said,
B12, all kinds of
if
different
it's
stuff.
legalized, then people will be held accountable. And, they don't want to get sued or, whatnot. So they are going to do things the right way as much as they can.
But and regulated, like, they don't, not that they don't want to be sued, or obviously don't want to be sued, but obviously you're also regulated. Like, you have to do these certain things where you show paperwork or you show certain things that, okay, now you can go ahead and sell it to the market.
Right.
That people's lives were lost. That's why they didn't stand. That's why they don't care to see their families heartbroken, crying.
Donald Trump could cure cancer, could do all this stuff, and it's so weird that he went with a disease, talking about I could cure a disease and whatever, and these people wouldn't stand for me. Well, you had a chance to do something about a disease, and you did about the worst you could do. You locked people up, and I don't know if the disease spread crazily, but people were dying. You forced people to get a shot at first, and then talk bad about Joe Biden for continuing your forced shot plan or whatever. Mandate. Yeah, it's like you picked the exact wrong thing. That's like saying, "Oh, I'm the best dunker in basketball," and then like go dunk a basketball and I can't dunk. Like why would you pick that one thing that you had a chance to do and you couldn't do it? Like it's just weird. He's such a weird dude at times. But then he makes the people weird. Like she's gonna say the same thing. Like, it's just goofy to be like, oh, well, he could do the thing that he didn't do, and y'all wouldn't clap for him. Well, he didn't do it, and he had a chance to do it. Why would we clap for him?
Murdered by Mexican cartels and drug gangs and stuff like that. I have never seen anything remotely close to this in my lifetime.
The Democrats knew exactly what they were doing. They knew that they allowed it, and so they don't care that people's lives were lost. That's why they didn't stand. That's why they don't care to see their families heartbroken, crying, just in ruins. In my opinion, they are responsible for many, many lives lost.
I have never been a Trumper. I have never voted for the guy.
A Trumper?
But I can tell you...
I don't know what that means. A Trumper?
The moment that I changed my mind about him.
And you definitely know what a Trumper is.
I
like,
know.
Why would you say something like that?
And that was in Butler, Pennsylvania. And it wasn't just because of what happened there.
Oh,
It
this
was
is a good one.
because
Listen close.
The day before, which was a Friday, the investment group that controls the assets for the Bushes and the Cheneys sold every single bit of their DJT, aka Truth Social, stock. They sold every single bit of it. And then the following Tuesday, they claimed, oops, that was a clerical error. We would like that back, please.
I don't even know how these people are American. They hate our country, so...
Bush and Cheney are Republicans. Like, what does that even mean? Like, all the Bushes... We had 2 Bush presidents and another Bush run for president that Donald Trump beat. And then Cheney... He was Bush's vice president. Like, what are you talking about?
Is that who she's talking? Saying she don't know how they're American?
They said Bush and Cheney, man. Like, I'm just saying, no.
Every single bit of their DJT, aka before, which was a Friday.
Oh, no, right here.
Tell you.
I don't know what that means. A Trump?
The moment that I changed my mind about him. And that was in Butler, Pennsylvania. And it wasn't just because of what happened there.
Oh,
It
this
was
is a good one.
because
Listen close.
The day before,
Yeah, here.
which was a Friday,
No, I know what she said about Bush
the
and
investment
Cheney. I was
group
talking about the other one.
that
How she
controls
said,
the
I don't know how they're
assets for
American,
the
or what was she saying?
Bushes
She's referring to
and the
Bush and
Cheneys
Yeah, the Bush and she's talking about the people she was talking about. The Bush and the Chinese
of their
Cheney sold their
DJT, aka Truth Social,
True Social
stock.
And she doesn't say what happened to
They
it.
sold
It must have went down and went back up
single
over the
bit of
couple
it.
days, and they
And
wanted
then
it back.
the following Tuesday, they claimed, oops, that was a clerical error. We would like that back, please.
I don't even know how these people are American. They
But they're
hate our
Republicans.
country so much. They want us to believe that everything is a conspiracy theory.
No, see,
and then by the time that
she
the
said these people, like referring to the lady, not the Bush and Cheney, because she's saying they think everything's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, so this lady's a Democrat?
Is what
Talking
I'm
about Bush and
saying.
Cheney?
No, that's why she's saying I don't know how these people are even Americans. Referring to the lady, and she's saying they think everything's a conspiracy, and it's like, oh, that's what she's talking
So
about.
she's backing Bush and Cheney.
That's what I mean. I don't. That's what I'm trying to think, like how it sounded.
Okay, so I'm not. I'm not quite sure. You might be right.
Because she said, I don't even know how these people are American. So that's why I asked who she's referring to. And then she
Right,
said,
that's why I wanted to watch it
then
again.
she said, they're conspiracy theories. So I'm thinking, she's referring to this lady. Because this lady's saying it's a conspiracy theory. She's saying she sold it and then they bought it back
I heard
the
it
next
different.
day.
I thought she was talking. Okay.
Yeah,
She's
that's
talking
why
about this lady talking about Bush and Cheney.
Yeah. That's why because she said they have conspiracy theories about things.
Okay, well, Bush and Cheney are pretty crazy, and I don't know
that's why I was
if they
like,
sold their stock and got it back. I don't know about that certain conspiracy
that's why I was
theory.
thinking, what?
But both of them are hardcore Republicans and warmongers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what
But
I'm saying.
then Cheney did come to the Democratic Party for Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump. So that's why I kind of thought she was talking about Cheney. And I don't think Bush's came over to the Democrats or not, but...
Truth comes out, it's like everybody has forgotten about it. This lady says that the Democrat Party is not her party anymore.
People that went to this speech last night, what did they do? Did they get together like on a call the week before and say, hey, everybody, we're not going to clap at all for the president at all? Even,
maybe they did because they're all also sharing TikToks with the same exact script. These people are just all puppets tied together by something.
if we agree, even if we agree a little bit with what he's saying, we're not going to clap. We're going to sit here like this. We're going to pass out signs that say, you're not my king, you're a liar, you're a
I mean, those signs basically said, I'm an idiot.
thief. Everyone's going to, because the Democrats love signs. We're going to hold up signs and we're going to make our point be known. We'll stand once when President Trump walks in, but we're not going to stand at all during the night. I never thought that I would be agreeing with something that Donald Trump has said, but here we are. It doesn't matter what I do. I could find the cure for the most deadliest disease, and these people still would not care. They would not stand.
It's so good that he started with that because sometimes people don't watch the whole speech, and I think that that's the reason why it clicked for a lot of people.
They would not. It's almost like they want Donald Trump to fail.
Like, Donald Trump is so insane. He can say anything and people will just take it at face value like, okay. Like, this dude was in control during a disease and mishandled it terribly. And he's like, I could cure diseases and you wouldn't clap. Why would you even go to that? I don't even understand. Like, you could say, I could cure world hunger, I could build an EV car, I could do cartwheels, anything. But don't do something that, don't say I could do something that you had a chance to do and didn't do.
Right.
That I don't understand.
I could solve our financial debt or something, and
But
he
like,
was gonna try something that I don't know if he tried it in his last presidency, but you know what I mean.
Well, they all said they're gonna try to solve the debt.
But making it a focus, right? Because like you said, you had the chance to cure something and you didn't do it. So don't say it, right? Like, say something else that maybe you can, right?
And yeah, like something you might not have tried, or like I can raise good kids. I mean, something like that. Talking about the world threw this at me, and I had to make a decision on this.
Yeah,
and I did it poorly, but I could have done it well, and you wouldn't like me. But you didn't. Like, you didn't. Like, this is so weird that he would pick that, and that his followers would be like, okay, we're gonna ride with this. Pick something else.
In America,
that's the impression that I got as a Democrat. It's like, if Donald Trump fails for the next 4 years, we all fail. It was off.
That is the reason why they keep saying that, everything's so expensive and America is really bad. People are losing their...
I don't know. It kind of depends. Like, I don't necessarily want the American president to fail per se, but if his goal is to eliminate as many jobs as possible, then we're going to be failing there. Like, the American people are going to be hurting, not able to afford food, housing, whatever. We're going to have a lot of government workers that are homeless after a year or two, probably. Like, if they don't got nowhere to go, we're just cutting jobs rather than making jobs. I thought the whole point was to create jobs.
And these are thousands and thousands of people, right? Like,
it's supposed to be 80,000 from the VA, 7,000 from some other thing I saw one day, but it's like it's thousands and thousands. Like, it's chunks of 5 to 10 to 15 to 80,000 at times.
Right, and then like we say, it's not like a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, right? A lot of people don't have that cushion, like, we'll get through this. Like, no, we won't, know? Like, putting that many people out is, and he's doing it like it's not a bad thing.
But then, and they're out, but then they don't have the money to go spend at the stores they used to go to, so those stores don't make...
the economy.
Right, it's like, You're just killing the
They can't
velocity
pay
of
their
money and
bills.
income.
You won't pay mortgage or rent. You can't, pay for your car payment, like things that you did get into the government, right? Or in society, you can't do now. You can't go shopping. You can't go watch movies. You can't, like.
Man, I stopped watching
You
movies
can't
many,
eat
many
out.
years ago.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, when it went, movies used to be like a couple of dollars, Asian, right? Like, and you can have popcorn and a drink. Now it's
You still
like,
go to the movies for like under $20.
Yes.
And almost everything you buy at the movies is about around $20.
yeah. Now like a small popcorn is like 20. Well, now the ticket to get in is like $20.
Right, that's crazy, man. But
but those things, right? How they pushed money into to giving the people and say like, go out there and spend and make our economy, run or
flow.
Oil it, right? Now it's like
grease it.
Yeah. Now it's like, okay, nobody can do anything. I mean,
If you're cutting all these jobs, everybody's gonna be doing a whole lot less. That's for sure.
Jobs and everything is so bad. That's why Elizabeth Warren always seems so scared. They're trying to make it seem like we are living through the harshest times of our country right now, because it's all about perspective. And if you believe that everything is so bad right now and there's no opportunity, then your actions are going to be in line with that. That is why they keep repeating this lie to people. They are the most demotivating and negative people on earth, but America is an optimistic country.
Last night, you had Al Green getting dragged out of there after waving his cane, going, there's no mandate. Elizabeth Warren playing on her phone all night. I can't imagine.
She was checking her 23andMe.
Imagine sitting in front of the president and playing on my phone. Someone came into my comments on the post that I made yesterday, and they said, you didn't leave your party left you. That just, it hit a nerve with me.
And as someone who's neither a Democrat nor a Republican, my one key takeaway from his speech is that to the elected members of the Democrat Party, women's rights and Black lives do not matter unless you are also a member of the Democratic Party. That the second either President Trump or a member of the Republican Party acknowledges you, the Democratic Party is going to wash their hands of you.
The stories of the people that Donald Trump shared were so emotional. For the last few days, I've literally just been like crying. Like in the past, when I've watched sad movies, like it doesn't really affect me. Like movies don't make me feel so emotional. But what Trump did, I mean, these are real people. It was happening in real time. I don't know how you cannot just start bawling.
I would leave the Democrat Party like ASAP. The people that you elected into Congress, not even
non-self-aware.
Honoring a little kid with brain cancer.
Like they will continuously say, the ones that are still left, like Harry Sisson, they will say that, oh, well, they didn't stand because Donald Trump is just such a bad person. And we will reject what the Democrats are trying to instill in our minds, that
So
America...
Donald Trump gave an award to a 10-year-old black kid who beat brain cancer and made him, he wanted to be a cop when he gets older, and he made him an honorary part of the CIA. And so the Democrats, they probably clapped. I don't know if they clapped, but they didn't stand, right? And everybody else stood and clapped. And so that's what what they were talking about, the last two ladies, her and the lady before.
Oh, that if he cured cancer or something, he wouldn't stand.
No.
Yeah.
She said that talking about that they didn't stand for the 10-year-old or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, they say they used him as like a prop or whatever. But the Democrats do the same thing. You give an award to somebody who got their leg blown off or who did this or that, had beat brain cancer or whatever, and you'll give them an award at some kind of ceremony, and they're all props. The whole reason to do it is to get people to be like, yay, I like you because you did that.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. You don't, like, I mean, you might care about them a bit, but it's not like you're doing it because you care about them. You're doing it because you want
for the show, for the claps.
Right, the claps and the clout and the votes later on and stuff.
Yes.
Is falling because the prices of eggs are too expensive, but pretty soon those chickens are going to be laying golden eggs, because this is the golden era of America. And I hope that you guys are ready to capture all of this opportunity. Make sure you're subscribed.
So like what you just said, this is the definition of a Trumper. Chickens are going to start laying golden eggs. Now, I know she doesn't mean it like she thinks chickens are going to lay actual golden eggs that we can sell as gold or put in computers and make golden wires. But really, what's a Trumper? Chickens are gonna lay golden eggs
why I
because
was
of Donald
like-
Trump.
That's why I was like, no, she didn't.
Yeah, if she would know what a Trumper is if she looked at things from across the spectrum.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, comment too.